It's said that 10% of small business owners actually do social media marketing right. Well, that means there's a lot of folks that could use a little bit of help. Yet sometimes all you need is a little bit of an edge. So continuing from last week, because we got such a high demand for a little deeper content, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into what that edge means. And honestly, that edge is simply understanding that the internet is a lot like fishing. If you can predict where your fish might be, your chances of catching them dramatically improve. But on the other hand, if you don't have a clue as to where your fish are, you're bound to have a harder time getting a bite. So, likewise, when you look at the internet is just like fishing. You can't see what's happening online or under the water, but you know if you use the right bait, you will eventually catch a fish. And successful social media marketing then is as simple as knowing how to bait your fishing rod hook and cast in the right direction. So today, everybody, I promise you to give you 5 great baiting tips. And then I'm going to give you a streamlined approach to easily and simply baiting your content and catching your targeted consumers. So let's go fishing. Today in this example, you are driving the boat, and the boat is your brand. Just like in fishing, we're going to play the percentages by fishing specific spots where your consumers are most likely to feed or spend their time when they're on the internet. So you're going to cast your line in the direction of Facebook, Twitter, a blog, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Consumers, in turn, well, they're going to feed off of the good content that you have on each of those platforms, and that content is your bait. So what every good fisherman knows is that to come home with a good catch, they have to fish along irregularities, along edges of a body of water. And it's in those edges that fish concentrate. Maybe the edge along a reed bed, kind of in this caricature that we have here. And when they feed there, they are there as communities, and that's where they hang out. Likewise, for you to catch a consumer consistently, you know that your consumers are attracted to the internet, where the answers to their keyword searches are easily and quickly available. And when those searched keywords actually match keywords that you've added to the content of one or more of those 5 social media platforms, like you've added the content that matches their keywords to a blog, to a Facebook post, to a tweet, to a LinkedIn conversation, or to one of your YouTube videos, well then, magic happens because your content, that specific content, pulls up higher in the search engine results and gets you 5 strategic listings on the search engine page results page. And remember, there are only, or normally, 8 listed items. So you potentially could have 5 of them, which means that your content likely will get more eyeballs, more visitors clicking through your content, and more potential customers converting when they're on your website, your online home base. Here is a streamlined approach to being able to fish like a good fisherman. And this is my favorite part. It's a streamlined approach to effectively baiting your content on the internet within those 5 platforms. We start with your brand, and then we blog. And let me tell you that a blog is merely a web page. It's usually attached to your main website where you post the likes of a journal article, usually about 250 plus words. And that's where you're sharing your expertise, your insight, your opinion, product reviews, inspiration. So the blog or your website is the hub of this wheel. Then you have spokes that we are going to take the very blog content, we're going to tweak it slightly, and we're going to repurpose it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. This strategy is what the 10% do to be successful. And this strategy will enable you to not only get more content out on the search engines so you can catch more consumers, but it enables you to repurpose your content and saves you a lot of time. So this streamlined approach effectively helps you bait the content on the internet within those 5 platforms where your targeted consumers are hanging out. We're going to start with that blog. And as we all know, majority of consumers, they won't put in the time to read your blog, rather they skim your headlines. So the action you want to take the next time you're on your website writing a blog post is you want to write your main headlines and your subheadlines first so that the readers can scan your big ideas. By knowing that their limitation is in attention, you want to give them the big ideas in your headlines. You want to give them the keywords in those subheadlines. You want to give them that phrase that pays within the subheadlines that they're going to remember belongs to your site. Then also remember that this hub, this website, this blog, passively sells you as an expert in the field. Now here comes the easy part and the fun part. You're going to head over to Facebook and you're going to turn those blog headers into questions. And you're going to pair them up with intriguing images for Facebook posts on your business page. The number one creative element that stops fans to look at your content at a screeching halt inside of their newsfeed is images, as opposed to posts that are only text or links. And once they've stopped, they're likely to read your short text, especially if you've asked their opinion. And what Facebook fan would pass up the opportunity to give their opinion? Not many. When you ask questions about topics that are relevant to them, you invite your Facebook fans to give their opinion. So in turn, you're going to get more likes, comments, and even shares on that specific post. And here's the big idea when that happens. You're not only putting up content that gives you a second search result listing on Facebook, but inside of Facebook, you're building a relationship. The moment you have fans engage with your content, their friends know about it. Your content is being introduced to all of their friend base. And that enables you to build on the internet, but build relationships inside of Facebook. Then we're going to head over to Twitter, where we're going to take those blog headers and we're going to turn them into 140 character teasers with hashtag search topics added to them. Well, good for you. The majority of blog headers average about 70 to 80 characters long. So you have room up to 60 or 70 more characters to fill each tweet. So I want you to go ahead and nest a little hyperlink inside of that tweet that brings a visitor back to your blog where your Twitter followers can now land on your website, and that's the online hub of your brand. And your tweet essentially then intrigues your reader to click on that link and dig into the whole article which is hosted on your blog. Then to give yourself a bit even more advantage, use the hashtag symbol or the pound sign before the relevant keyword or phrase inside of your tweet. This categorizes the tweet according to subject and helps your target audience find your insight. Then it also enables you to target your target audience with that specific keyword that has a hashtag in front of it. Essentially, your hashtags bait the internet, bait your Twitter followers to pull your tweet higher in the search results because your tweets now organize according to keywords and they target your ideal followers. It's a great way to get found, not only inside of Twitter, but really inside the larger world of search. Then we're going to repurpose that original blog header and headlines, subheadlines, onto YouTube. And we're going to turn them into short how-to videos. Many fast-paced consumers, well, they really prefer watching your content over reading it. Plus, the how-to videos are a popular searched category on YouTube. So you've really given yourself a huge advantage for search when you do a how-to video. And of course, videos allow your brand to stand out by your expressing your team's passion, your expertise, your opinion. And it's not just on YouTube that you're going to be found, but it's also within any of the greater search engines. Then You can take that URL for that YouTube video and put it as content on your Facebook, Twitter, or inside of a a LinkedIn discussion. So now here, when you're doing that video, don't be intimidated by thinking that you need a super successful, state-of-the-art camera. Just grab your smartphone, because quality isn't as important as authenticity. And that is a rule, hard and fast rule for business owners and consumers. A smartphone, then, it can really be the most readily, easiest technology to simply record and enable you to upload your office videos to your YouTube channel straight from your phone. Once you've uploaded them to your channel, you can simply take the embed code or the URL and embed that video within your website, within a specific blog, within a Facebook post, within a tweet, within a LinkedIn discussion, and that will enable you to generate more targeted traffic to your content, to that one video. And inside of YouTube, they actually enable you to keep all of the viewing. So you'll know exactly the number of views from exactly the people who have watched your content. That analytic will enable you to know what time are they watching your content, where are they located, what industry might they be from. And that will enable you to create more targeted content for the future. And then finally, we're going to be taking those blog headers, and they're going to be turned into 5 topics, because normally you have 5 headers, for group discussions. And a quick way to get more nibbles is really to share your expertise with your connections as a group discussion on LinkedIn. And you can do one of 2 things. You can either join or start a group related to your industry or your target audience. So first, if you're going to start a discussion using your blog headers, you are going to think about what content that you are an expert of is relevant to your target audience. What do they want to know more about? If you start a discussion topic relevant to the group members, they will spend time asking questions and also providing their insight about a topic for which you are an expert. And that's a pretty cool opportunity for you to have people talking about your area of expertise, as well as you being able to cap it and demonstrate your expertise relative to bringing them back to your blog. You're really adding a huge service here. It's better than saying, I'm the best, I know all of this, I am amazing. Rather, now you are demonstrating how amazing, how good you are, and people in turn are putting your information to action. And when your information put into action in their life gives them a benefit, they're going to come back and give you the credit, and they're going to remember who you are. It's the best way to build credibility, and it is a little bit longer term, but it definitely has more of a scalability to it, and it is longer lasting as far as you filling up that funnel for customers and then coming to your site. And that second, you can join one of their conversations. So you can start a conversation or you can join their conversations. And the second part is when you join one of their conversations, when you see people talking about a topic that interests you, you now have the content from your blog headers to be able to add immediate value to that conversation. Within your replies, you can share the blog headers with a link back to your blog to earn a reputation as the go-to source. Maybe it's for breaking industry insights, news, best practices, or all-around expertise that only your brand can offer. And kind of a personal note here, this is where I've been able to launch a lot of great insight, not only amongst my colleagues, because you're going to find that a lot of people within these groups might be, if you're a realtor, there might be other realtors. If you're an author, there's probably a lot of other authors in there. And case in point for me is I see a lot of other social media experts in there. But the good thing is that I don't become intimidated by what they have. I find that I've got a unique perspective, as do you, on my industry. And when I share a little bit of that expertise or that insight, people are starting to realize that, wow, she really does know what she's talking about. And the same is going to be true for you. So don't become intimidated by thinking that or knowing that there are competitors within those groups. Rather, how can you benefit your target consumer within that group so that you can demonstrate your expertise? And I've been able to generate a lot of additional business that has come from LinkedIn. A lot of it speaking, and then there's also been an opportunity for me to work on an enterprise level with a couple of companies whereby I've not only been speaking for them, but I've actually been able to bring on Summa, where we've designed a lot of social media websites for them. And that will be just a great way for you to generate expertise in action and be able to convert them as bottom line value. So now, guys, now you have those 5 baiting tips, but really you have a streamlined approach to baiting your content and catching your target audience. But I want you to step back here and really understand the big idea of phishing, because I don't want you to miss this. When a consumer inputs keywords into any search engine, Bing, Yahoo, YouTube, and when those keywords match the content of your blog or your website, then your blog, your Facebook post, your tweet, your YouTube video, and your LinkedIn discussion will pull up as 5 listed items on the search engine page results. So remember, there are usually about 8, and you've just filled 5 of them. You'll easily get more eyeballs, you're going to get more visitors, and then once they're on your site, you can easily, maybe immediately, maybe it takes a couple more touch points, but you can convert them into customers. And that is exactly how 10% of small business owners do social media marketing right. That is your edge. Now, if you've got any questions, I want you to feel free inside of this dialogue to be able to pop them in. And I've got one question. Someone is asking me, how do you determine what those keywords are? Understanding what value you offer your end user can usually be identified by a keyword or a keyword phrase. Then, in order to figure out what that keyword or keyword phrase is, also understand what are the pain points that your consumer has. What solution do you offer to their problem? Because most of the time when people enter in a keyword or a keyword phrase into Google, it's often how to, and then they offer the problem. So if you can identify the problem in a keyword and the solution in a keyword, it's that keyword or phrase, maybe 2 or 3 words within that phrase, that you are going to use as your, actually this is going to be the main idea. So the main idea that you're going to put inside of your headers is going to be that keyword phrase. Inside of your blog header, maybe that's your main headline, and then also your subheadlines. You want to put those keywords that identify the problem and identify the solution. And then within that Facebook post that you're going to be turning into a question and pairing up with a good image, you want to make sure that those keywords are there. Also, inside of Facebook, just like inside of Twitter as of last evening, Facebook is now putting in keywords or hashtags so that if you put a # in front of your keyword, that enables your keyword to fall into a search category within Facebook that enables everybody to follow that search category. And if they are interested in having a question answered that can be identified by that search category, they're going to click on that category inside of Facebook, and they will see all of the posts that have had the keywords relative to that keyword topic, and your content will pull up. So it's very important not to put keywords in your blog that make you feel happy, but really understand what are people searching for that would enable my blog to come up as the answer to their problem. So think about that. You might also want to use the Google tool inside of Gmail to be able to figure out what exactly is being searched for with your keywords. You put your keyword inside of the Google tool and it'll show you exactly the percentage of times people are searching for that keyword. That could enable you to get more found quickly within strategic words within your industry. And that, my friends, is how you bait, you catch,